13 to 16, you'll see that the children of Yisolele, they are thinking of going back to Egypt. So when things get tough, they say, at least we can go there and eat some melons and, you know. So it was not always a fight. Then Yaya Mazambi. I think I forgot my verse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please try to get a verse that explains the goods that Solomon bought, or they put, the Sidonians put, and
the goods that Solomon built.
My internet on the phone. Yes, bought from the Sidonians.
Oh.
He bought.
If you can see that verse.
Okay. Said it was
found
imported
it?
from Egypt. That's 1 Kings
Mm-hmm.
chapter verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads,
Mm.
pull it up here. And Solomon, or Salama, had horses brought out of Egypt and linen yarn. The king's merchants received the linen yarn at a price. And a chariot came up, this is verse 29. And a chariot came up and went out of Egypt for 600 shekels of silver, and a horse for 150. And so for all the kings of the Hittites and for the kings of Syria, did they bring them out by their means.
Wow.
So it was out
Thank you
of
very
Egypt.
much.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. And just type the Sidonians, Hiram of Sidon, the goods that they are bringing with the trees to build the temple. I don't know how I forgot that verse.
Just basically type the scripture in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe First Kings. Okay.
She told you to put it in.
Yeah, she asked me to type it in.
Yeah, so you can read, no problem. You can read it out for us, no worries. So that we will compare with this. We need proof that these are the items he bought from the people of Sidon and the Tyre and the rest. Then we will find the land.
Oh, I'm sorry, I may have misunderstood. From the same scripture, or you asked me to find the scripture where he bought the.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you find the scripture and then you let me know.
Oh,
so let me continue.
Yes.
When you find the scriptures and naming the items, the acacia. Maybe you can type Sidonians, maybe you'll find it. When you find it, just let me know.
Sure.
So meanwhile, to save time, I will read something here. Jeremiah 46:9, the armies of Cush and Phut handling the shield. That is just a summary. Ezekiel 38:5, Cush and Phut supported the Most High, like in making that those, actually the carpenters came to help King Solomon with the timber and in the building of the temple, all right? And then Nahum 3:9, Phut and the Libyans allied along with Cush and Egypt. So now we see these are our neighbors, all right? So Phut must be in Africa, Libya must be in Africa, Egypt must be in Africa, and the land of Usolele must be within those boundaries, all right? I've told you east is the Indian Ocean, then you have to come westward, all right? Don't go eastwards. Then Jeremiah 46:9, Ezekiel 30:5, Cush and Phut supported Egypt. So these are neighbors, these are relatives, and they supported each other. So you can see Africa in the Bible. But because they hid our history, now we have to look at the other children of Ham so that we can get our location. Because they hid ours, they hid our history. So that's why we're going to check on the Libyans and the rest. And remember, in their history, they lied that Phut is Libya. Phut is different from Libya. Libyans were other people maybe who were born by the Egyptians or other sons of Ham, but Phut is a completely different person, all right? Then we see Phut as one of the armies of Tyre. See, Phut is everywhere here. The Sidonians, he helps the Tyrians, he helps the people of the Most High. He sells goods to Egypt, you see? So he's everywhere. He's a merchant, a very famous, powerful merchant. And it's possible they built their own ships and sailed. Similarly, in Tarshish, King Solomon is also building his own. So we have had two ships. We have the ships of Sidon and we have the ships of Zion. Now you know where the ships of Zion were at. And now you know why they don't teach you about the Persian-Indian Ocean slave trade, because you will realize the Greeks were here. You realize that the Greeks changed the name of a people from their name to Phoenicia, and they wrote it in the scriptures. They just rebranded the name so that you never know where Lebanon was, where Sidon was, where Tisor was, and where the wood and the frankincense and the incense came from, all right? So that's just a summary because we cannot read everything. Okay, Ezekiel 29:20, I have given him the land of Egypt as his payment for which he labored, because they worked for me, declares the Most High. Isaiah 43:3, for I am the Most High. You got it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I also want to say
read now.
Matondo to King Demetrius as well, you know, so yeah,
Okay.
he sent the same, we have found it. Thank you.
All right, all right.
Okay, so I'm going to start at 1 King chapter 5, verse 5. Okay, and it reads, so I have decided to build a temple to honor Nzambi, our Elimo, as the Elimo instructed my father David, your son, whom I will put on your throne in your place, is the one who will build a temple to honor me. So now order some cedars of Lebanon to be cut for me. My servants will work with your servants. I will pay your servants whatever you say is appropriate, for you know that we have no one among us who knows how to cut down trees like the Sidonians. When Hiram heard Solomon's message, he was very happy. He said, the Elimo is worthy of praise today because he has given David a wise son to rule over this great nation. Hiram then sent this message to Solomon. I received the message you sent to me. I will give you all the cedars and evergreens you need. My servants will bring the timber down from Lebanon to the sea. I will send it by sea in raft like bundles to the place you designate. There I will separate the logs and you can carry them. You can carry them away. In exchange, you will supply the food I need for my royal court. So Hiram supplied the cedars and evergreens Solomon needed. And Solomon supplied Hiram annually with 20,000 cores of wheat as provision for his royal court, as well as 20,000 baths of pure olive oil. So in Limo, the Elimo gave Solomon wisdom as he promised him, and Hiram and Solomon were at peace and made a treaty.
Wow, thank you very much. So you can see that it's evident that these Sidonians were good in cutting trees. They were good in cutting trees. And that's why they were given that responsibility. And the Most High, you know, when he wants you to get something for him, he tells you where you will get it. So if he says, go and get the cedars of Lebanon, he will not allow you to get some trees from your backyard, then build the temple and lie to him. I went to, no. If he tells you Lebanon, you have to go there. If he tells you it is these children of Ham who are going to cut the trees, you'll just do that. So King Solomon did what he was told. So probably there were cedars in Judea, but there were no people who knew how to cut them very well. You know, we are gifted in different ways. And the Most High wanted the Sidonians to ship those logs of wood and to do all the preparations. So now, as we have seen, Put and Cush and Egypt and Libya are neighbors, and these people did business together. So Put must be in Africa, and they must have ports, and they must have ancient ports, and they must be good in business. To date, we have to check if they are still good merchants, because there's nothing new under the sun. You are what your ancestors were. If your ancestors were farmers, you will be a very good farmer. It will be in the blood. So when you look today and check some of the Somali people, they are very good in business, very good merchants. Here, all over this place, they are doing business, big businesses. They have shipping companies. You see, in Kenya, they have very big businesses, even banking. But you know, nobody talks about their businesses. Okay, am I saying that all the people in the Horn of Africa are Sidonians and Phoenicians and the people of Tyre? No. The people have been mixing and many things have happened. But the Europeans named all these people as Cushites just to hide their identity. So you have 3 Somalis. So I'm going just to share with you a brief history. I don't know how many minutes we have left. We have 30 minutes left or 20? Okay, I'll share with you a few short history because this really shocked me. We have 3 Somalis. We have 3 Somalis. Don't think Somalia is just the Somalia they show you on television. There are 3 Somalis. So we have Somalia, we have Somaliland, and we have Somali Puntland. This Puntland separated itself and they retained the name Punt. Somalia, the whole of that place called Somalia was colonized by 3 nations, the French, the Italians, and the British. Why were they doing that? A small nation, they must have been tough. A small nation and you come 3 colonizers and then they separated. So there was British Somaliland, Italian Somaliland, and there was French Somaliland. We have people in Somalia who speak Italian very fluently, very fluently. So I will just read a short story about Somalia. And I will show you, I just colored a small map. So you see that is Puntland. So this is Kenya, where the ships of Tarshish were. So this is Somalia Puntland. You can see this is Kush, Sudan and Ethiopia. I put them together. This is Libya, this is Egypt. This is the Red Sea. The Red Sea is the Eritrean Sea. So the people of Eritrea, that small country called Eritrea, and Djibouti can claim that sea. It's not Red Sea for the Greeks or the Romans. Because these people along here, these Africans are the first people to use these waters before the Greeks and the Romans, so they can claim these waters. But who is making a business from the Suez Canal and the Red Sea? Other people. So this is the Eritrean Sea, all right? So you can see that Punt is just right here. This in pink is Somalia. So there are 3 Somalis, and this is Puntland, which is put or foot. They just retained their name. But the United Nations said, we cannot recognize you as a sovereign country. Up to today, they have a government, they have a parliament, they have everything a nation needs. They have their trade, they export items, as we will see, but they are not allowed to be an independent country to break away from Somalia up to now. By the United Nations doesn't recognize their state, all right? So you never hear about them. So if you have time in future, they are very peaceful, that Puntland side of Somalia. If you have a chance one day, you can visit there. They are very ancient cities that were there, ancient times. So when the Northern Kingdom is being taken into captivity and the like, the cities were there. So I will go very, very fast. History of Somalia. Somalia is an ancient country. The country was an important center for commerce with the rest of the world. So this was a major port linking all the people of the world. All the people of the world came here to get their goods. Has a mountainous coastal zone in the north and several pronounced river valleys. So that side, nobody should lie to you that the Horn of Africa is all desert. We have mountains. So if you have mountains, then the cedars can grow there. Then we have evidence that there are trees growing in that land. So you have nomadic pastoralists and agro-pastoralists. The southern and northwestern Somalia have dense thorn bush savanna. So when you hear them talking about savanna, savanna grassland, savanna thickets and bushes, the trees will be there, especially acacia. The acacia grows in the savanna grassland. And acacia was used also in building the temple, the Ark of the Covenant, and the like. And acacia in Swahili is called mshita, M-S-H-I-T-A, mshita, which the modern people call shitim. It's not shitim, it's mshita. When we name a tree or a person, we start with M, mtu. The M, we hum it, mtu, mti. So it is mshita. That is how we call the acacia. When you see in Aramaic, it's mshita. So that is how we call. So the acacia trees love to grow in the savanna grassland. And in Africa, they are all over. And this is food for the giraffes and the elephants. So the giraffes, with their long necks, they can feed on the shoots of this tree while they are just standing on their own. So it's medicinal also, you can research about that. So the savanna has various succulents and species of acacia. Sorry, now we have it. So there is acacia in that place. Wadi areas and the moist zones of the northern coastal mountains where the frankincense tree grows. The acacia grows there and the frankincense trees grow. The myrrh tree thrives in the border areas of southern and central Somalia. We have found the myrrh, we have found the frankincense, and we have found the acacia. So we are on the right track. There are still many species of wild animals throughout the country, especially in the far south. You have hyenas, foxes, leopards, lions, warthogs, ostriches, small antelopes, and a variety of birds. So the elephants have disappeared because of poaching, a lot of poaching. So in culture, language, and way of life, the people of Somalia speak like the people of northeastern Kenya. We have a Somali tribe in the northeastern part. There are some tribes there. And in Ethiopia and Djibouti. So Somalia is a country, name of a country, but we have people who speak Somali language, like a dialect that is called Somali itself. So the same tribe, you can find it in Ethiopia and you can find it in Djibouti as well. So they are big people. They are not just a small clan. They can be found in all these countries. Another economically important minority is mainly responsible for profitable irrigation agriculture practiced in the middle lands of River Juba and Shebele. Guess who are these? The Bantu. The Bantus who were taken to slavery in Somalia to work in the plantations lived here between the River Juba and Shebele, and they're the ones contributing to the economy of that country in agriculture-wise, I can say, in that part of the economics. So the Bantus are there, and the world knows that there are Bantus living in Somalia, and they are agriculturalists, and they were taken there during slavery. The acacia species of the thorny savanna in southern Somalia supply good timber and a major source of charcoal, good timber. So now we know the acacia in that place has got very good timber. And some are using it for charcoal as well. I remember when there were people doing terrorism, and these people were called Al-Shabaab. They hid in Somalia, and they were terrorizing people in Somalia and other neighboring countries. So these people were selling charcoal to get money to buy weapons. So we were asking ourselves, they always told us Somalia is a desert. Where did these people get charcoal? Where did they get trees to burn the charcoal? So imagine these people have trees, they have charcoal enough to give them a large amount of money to buy weapons. Tell me how many tons of charcoal, how many trees are cut down to make that charcoal? You know, a bag of charcoal is a few shillings, maybe $10. $10 for one bag, maybe 50 kilos of charcoal. $10. Tell me, these people need millions and millions to buy rockets, to buy. So it was a militia group that was terrorizing the whole region. So not all the people in that land are in the militia, no. The militia were just a few people who were doing those bad stuff, but they were selling a lot of charcoal. So the people wondered, where are these people getting money? You see? So the timber is good, and so it means there are trees there, but the world doesn't want us to know that these people have lots of trees that they can cut and sell tons and tons of charcoal. So more efficient and careful handling of frankincense, myrrh, and other resin exuding trees. So they have these trees that produce frankincense, produce myrrh, and the resin they will use for the same. They have a few minerals also. So I'll just go to the key points. Somalia are among the largest reserves in the world of a mineral that is called saprolite. Sepulite. It's like a clay mineral called sepulite. So what are their exports? Hides and skins. They also keep lots of animals, and these animals they ship to Arabia live, because they will put them in ships, and the people here, because of their religion, they will slaughter for themselves. So they send live animals for export to these other Arabian countries. Skins, fish, frankincense must be there, myrrh, and it's normally exported to Arab countries. So Mogadishu, Berbera, now we're going to the ports and the harbors. And Kismayo are deep water harbors, but dangerous coral reefs. They keep coastal traffic to a minimum. So that is now generally Somalia. Now, Puntland is a republic, the one I was telling you about, is a Somali republic in the north. In July 1998, it was declared as an autonomous region of Puntland in the northeast. So they became independent. So the Puntland now itself, they export precious gums, ostrich feathers, what we had just said King Solomon bought, and the Egyptians also bought from that land. Ghee, animal products, and also they were involved in selling people in slavery. So it's noted there that this Puntland was famous in that, all right? So this land, what is the name of this land? This land is called the land of aromatics and incense. Now, you know, when the people were coming from the east to see the Messiah, they were coming from East Africa, they were coming from Mocha, they were coming from Motsa, where the frankincense and the myrrh is indigenous. So it is mentioned in ancient Egyptian writings as the land of aromatics and incense. So even the Egyptians know about these people. Their ports have been open to the outside world for centuries. So if the Greeks were coming to Africa, the Romans are coming, the Persians are coming, just guess which port are they going to use? The Mediterranean? This is an open port. Nobody tells you don't go there, because they are merchants, they are ready. Come and buy your goods, come and buy from us. You see? So their ports were always open to the whole world. They never cared who is who. So these armies that came to overtake the lands in the north might have come through this passage using these ports. All right? So 7th to 10th century, the Persian and Arabs developed a series of trading ports along the Gulf of Aden. So near the Somali Puntland, you will see a place called Aden. You'll see a place here called Aden. Aden, if you look in the book of Jasher, Aden was a child of Put, a child of Put, a child of Punt. So when I saw that, I realized that this Punt didn't disappear from the planet because he had children. So we have to look for the children, where his children are. Then we will know that that is the land of the Puntites, or the land of Put. Because the historians are hiding this. They are telling us, no, the Putites are Pul, they are full, they are Libyans. No, it's not the truth. Because Pul was a king of Assyria, so he cannot be a brother of Misri or Cush. Those Libyans and Putites are different people. And as you saw in the scripture says the Libyans and the Cushites and the Putites, and Put is with them. So he can't mention Put twice. So Put, Libya, Cush, Misri, those are different people. So Put is not a Libyan. Put is a Put on his own. He had harbors. He was an ancient merchant. He exported all these goods that we have seen. And those items are still traded today in those lands. The trees are still there and everything. There's nothing new under the sun. The Most High will leave the evidence until the last minute. No matter how many histories they change, no matter how many lands they have put under the UNESCO. You know, when they say this is a UNESCO site heritage, they have kept it for themselves. Know that there is something they are hiding. So you have to be very, very observant and very keen. When you read this history in the books, they will always do things in a way that is very, very, in a queer way, very fishy things. So I will just talk of Zanj and the Zang. Zanj, Zang, Zang, Zangu. In Swahili, you can say Zangu. Zangu means mine. So I don't know if the word Zion also meant mine in the ancient times. I don't know, because these Persians and Arabs changed the name of these people to Zanj, and the Chinese too. And these other people, the Persians and the Arabs, they call them again Zanzi, Zanz. That's why you hear the word Zanzibar. Instead of Zangweba, you hear Zanzibar. Bar, it can be a harbor or a port. Bandari. A port in Swahili, we call it bandari. Bar, bandari, all right? So bar will stand for the port. And Eziongebar. Ezion will stand for Zion. And Bar will stand for the port of Zion. Zangweba, Eziongebar, the port of Zion. Even if they change and call it Zanzibar, no problem. The port of Zion, the port of Azania, the harbor of Azania, all right? Up to now, the port of Mombasa, Kenya, Malindi is a very big port, very, very big, a lot of traffic, and so many countries use that port, especially the landlocked countries use that port. As far as DRC, as far as the other lands as well. All right. Yes, the East African Israelites of Zanjiland. Wow. You see, my people, I'm not just making it up. Huh? I'm just not making it up. The evidence is just appearing on its own. Wow. Somebody compiled something of this sort. I wish I had seen it earlier when I was waking up. Wow, amazing. So the Zanj, Zangu.
Dada, you have this one. I sent this one to you a while back. I know we've been sending each other so much information. I know it's a lot. I said I gotta pull it out and compile it together to have it.
Wow. We will have to read again and again. You know, these things is we have to make our mind recall each and everything. So I will read again the notes that you sent that from Britannica. Yeah, from Britannica. I think they have more details there. So Zanj, Zangu, Zang. The fertile lands between the Shebele and Juba rivers were occupied partly at least by sedimentary Bantu tribes. So the world knows that in that part in Punt, which we have said is foot, the Bantu tribes lived between River Juba and River Shebele. And Bantu tribes of the Nyika. Nyika, you remember we talked about Manica in Mozambique? Manica means Nyika. Nyika means wilderness. So if somebody tells you you are a Manica, he's telling you you are a person of the wilderness. All right, it's like an abusive kind of word, all right? So the tribes of the Nyika, whose ancient capital So they are saying there are some Bantus living in Somalia between Juba and Shebele. These are the people who are enslaved, have an ancient capital called Shungwaya. I'm looking for this island, they say it is called Shungwaya. Remnants of the Zanj, as these are the remnants of the Zanj. So when the Zanj were taken to captivity, these people remained and they were enslaved in Somalia, and they are still there doing farming. So the remnants of Zanj, these people are known to the Arab geographers. They still survive in this region, but their strongest contemporary representatives, their family, their sisters, their brothers, are found among the coastal Bantu, of whom the Pokomo live along Tana River in northern Kenya. So the Pokomo tribe, as we will see, I will find out also about the clothing of the Pokomo people, because they love to wear red, scarlet, and blue. And these are the clothes the Phoenicians used to make to sell. I don't know, blue, scarlet, purple kind of clothing. So I will dig deep and see if they still do it, if these people really came from that part near Phoenicia. So in northern Kenya, we have Somali people also. And we have people who are ancient, but they don't belong to Somali. So they are like a group who may be related to the San people of the South. They are called Waboni, W-A-B-O-N-I. All right, their appearance is just like the people in the South. So you can see now these are ancient lands. These are our ancient lands, our ancient boundaries. So we have seen that this must be the port of the Phoenicians, of the Sidonians, and the people of Tisor. So as you'll find out later, we said that the tribe of Zebulun is just near this place. And we've seen that some Bantus, especially those who migrated through Tana River, the Pokomo people who are related to Zanj are not the only people who came through Tana River. We have other Bantus who migrated to Kenya through the Tana River. So they are coming literally from the south side of Somalia. So what happened? Where were they coming from? So that is the question. Where were these people coming? While other people are coming from Kush using the Nile. While other people are coming from the south, because there is war with the Zulus, there is war among the Ngunis, and they have divided themselves, and the others have said, you know what, we will leave you. We will go and stay alone on that. So there are people who migrated from South Africa and came down to Tanzania. The same tribe of the Nguni people of the South. So we are seeing that there are different migrations, there are different routes. So we have to ask ourselves why these Bantus were coming from Somalia. What happened? Is the Bible talking about anything about Sidon and Phoenicia and such things? So I think I've given you enough evidence, and you go and do more research. Now you know that why we say if somebody is a child of the Most High, he must have relatives who wear leopard skin. Or he might be an African whose ancestors wore leopard skin. That is, I'm saying the people in the north, like the Egyptians and the Kushites. So if I see somebody like Haile Selassie, Menelik II, wearing the leopard skin, I'm not surprised, because these are the people of Kush, or they live in the land of Kush. And why am I saying this? The Puttites, the people of Punt, the merchants, were selling these leopard skins to even Egypt. So there was this female pharaoh. There was this female pharaoh, I don't know, they say which year, I don't care about the years. And she was, I don't know in which dynasty, a female pharaoh. Her ships used to dock there in Somalia in the Puntland. You know that place, Puntland, near the Gulf of Aden. There is a small place you can like dock ships. It's a very nice harbor. It looks like a bay. When you come now from the Indian Ocean, you're going to the Red Sea. Her ships were there. This Egyptian pharaoh lady, her ships were there. So the Egyptians are not going to Greece to trade with the Greeks. The Egyptians are not trading with the Romans. The Egyptians are not going to the other Persia to trade with. They have all the supplies in Africa. Why should they go to the Mediterranean Sea? So their ships were docking on the Red Sea and taking goods from where? Puntland, Footland, where all the things, the leopard skins, anything they needed, the ostrich feathers, frankincense, the myrrh, the wood, anything they needed for their civilization was here. All right. So the people in the middle of the middle, these people were nomads. And how come these people came to be traders? These people came to be traders because there was a kingdom that began in Aksum. So this kingdom overthrew other Cushites, and they were a Christian kingdom. Question: who brought Christianity to this kingdom and who supported their kingdom, and they became this powerful over the other Cushites? The Greeks were there. So the Greeks are here building churches. The people of Aksum become a Christian empire. They become very powerful. Then they start trading. They expand their trade. I think there were, maybe they had cut ties. You know, Egypt now is destroyed. Some places of Kush are destroyed. Now you have to look for other people to trade with. We've gone into captivity. Nobody in the south, nobody building any temple there. No, we don't need wood now. We are in captivity. So what will happen? These people will look for other buyers, prospective buyers. So what they did, they started coming to Arabia. And when they reached Arabia, there were other nomadic tribes. So they brought food to them. They sold the frankincense, they sold the myrrh, and other objects too. And even gold could be, because there was gold in Meroe Kush. There was a lot of gold. So I told you there is no civilization without gold. If your land doesn't have gold, there was no civilization there. Don't lie. They shouldn't lie. No gold, no civilization. Even now, a country is rich if they are backed up with gold. How much gold, how much tons of gold they are backed up with. In ancient times, gold was very important. So they can't say they build a civilization there in the Mediterranean Sea and put some tribes that got lost and disappeared, and there is no gold there, even 1 gram. So that is a lie. All right. The Sidonians, the Phoenicians, and the people of Tyre, they don't exist in the Mediterranean, that place they show you. Why? They might have the cedar trees. I'm not refuting about that. I don't know how ancient they are. But the question is, do they have leopards in Lebanon so that they can give us leopard skin? And if they sell leopard skin, they have to wear. You know, I can't sell clothes I can't wear. I have to wear, be a model, and then you buy from me. You say, oh, this dress is good. Yes, this is my own design. Okay, I'll buy from you. Do they even wear leopard skin? So I told you there's two kinds of people who wear leopard skins. The people of Ham in the north, the Cushites, the Egyptians, and the people of Judea wore these leopard skins because they were supplied by the ships of Solomon, the ships from Tarshish, and the other people. So could be these people in Tarshish used to buy these goods from the Sidonians because it's the same coastline. And then they will take them to King Solomon. So it is a trade, you know. But with the wood, I think it went directly from Sidon, and the carpenters and those people were going to help him transport the wood inland, maybe from the coast and then going inland where the temple was to be built. So there is no people building no temple in a place whereby there isn't that kind of timber, there is no ancient forests, there is no frankincense and myrrh in Lebanon. So that Lebanon is an imagination. So the Lebanon, as my brother asked earlier on, or my sister, should be in the land of Africa. In the land of Africa. So the forest maybe right now is protected with the UNESCO. You never know, because these places, they don't want people to go there, and they will create wars, fund wars, and you can see what is happening in their neighboring countries. People from outside interfering because of this and that. So these are ancient lands. So if we have this perspective, like, I will not check the history of these people because they are Hamites. You lived among these people. They captured you, you traded with them. You have to know about them. So the brothers who will be on the street or somewhere or online typing things, just tell them this: they will never get their migration story or where they came from or who they are or what happened before the Messiah was born, until they know who were their neighbors and where they are at today. So it's very, very important. So when you see in the coast of Africa, when you see fire, fire, fire in the Horn of Africa, you know why. The nations know these are ancient lands and they want to delete all that history. So the last part of it, I want to give you evidence that this person we are talking about, Foot or Puntland, Somaliland, this is where the Phoenicians lived. So that is the last evidence I'm going to give you. So and whatever I've forgotten, I will tell you next time. I don't want to take much of your time. So this is the just winding up. All right. So I have a screenshot here. So our story, our information will be revealed slowly by slowly. These people who hid even the information and in books, these historians, so they will get tired and even start releasing this kind of materials. You've seen they have released maps and many other things. So let me read something small. The wealth of Tyre. Tyre is Tisor. There is a place some geographers or cartographers or these people who travel to discover lands, there is a place they crossed a river, a bridge, and they named that place Tisor in Ethiopia. So you see, Somalia and Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, and Kush, these are places that are adjacent to one another. So once you know these people are neighbors, you just know that Sidon, Tyre, and Phoenicia will just be on that coastline. And the best thing that has happened to us is they have a coastline. You know, they are not in the interior. They have a coastline, so we know the boundary and we know that they are here and we have seen their trade. So the people of Tyre, they were wealthy, all right? They were, you know, when you're a merchant, you're wealthy. So at first, the city state of Tyre enjoyed good relations with Isolele and Judah, with the northern kingdom and with the southern kingdom. They write the truth, but when it comes to giving you the place, they give you another location. That's the problem with these people. So Judah, although the relationship was commercial, so this was just a commercial agreement, how countries make a business agreement and sign business deals. So although relationship was commercial and not based on any religious or cultural sympathy, when King Solomon built the first temple in Jerusalem, King Hiram of Tyre famously supplied cedar from the forest of Lebanon, as well as other materials and even skilled workmen. All right, yes, good. You can go through some of those, especially those relating to what we are speaking today. The rest we will talk next time.
Okay.
So, yes. So that is the land of food. That is the land. Ezekiel 27:10, they of Persia. So Persia can be in Africa, but a land called Persia because they have taken the land, all right? They of Persia and of Lud and of Foot were in thine army, thy men of war. They hanged the shield and helmet in thee. They set forth their comeliness. These are called the people of the bow. So they knew how to use the bow and the arrow, all right? Ethiopia, Nahum 3:9. Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength. They were our strength back in the days. And it was infinite. Put and Lubim were thy helpers, all right? Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Ezekiel 38:5. All right. So you can see that. And so Ma and frankincense can be found also in Kenya and in Ethiopia. And in Kenya, we call it Mira. And my ancestors on the way while migrating, they came across these trees and they named babies Mora because of the Ma, all right? So, this kingdom of Aksum was a Christian kingdom, and they were powerful, and they went to Arabia to trade. So that is why you see Yemen and Oman, there were so many merchants that came to the east coast of Africa. So they were taught this business, how to be merchants. I told you everything started here, even commerce, knowledge, everything. So the people of this kingdom of Aksum, they went to Yemen. Yemen is just near the Gulf of Aden, and in Oman, and they did business there. So you will ask yourself, was there Christianity in Arabia? Yes. Before they converted to the other religion, there was even their churches in Saudi Arabia, there are churches in Oman. So they were Christians before they did what? They changed, they converted to another religion. They had also a religion prior to that, which was Christianity. So we want to see if it's true that these people called Punt or Foot are the people of Phoenicia. So am I saying that all the Somalis people or all the Futites are all Phoenicians. No, I'm not saying that, because the tribes have mixed. Some might have mixed with the Cushites, maybe speaking partly a Cushitic language. And some may be part of the Phutites as for now, but they are not actually Phutites. They are maybe from another lineage, but because their languages look similar, we just call them Somalis or Phutites or that kind of thing. So Somali people themselves, they have many clans. They have many clans, and they're spread all over the Horn of Africa. But we just want to know the land. So let us see the evidence of Phoenicia. Let us see now the people the Greeks called the Phoenicians, whether they are the same people we call Puttites or the people in Puntland, Somaliland, who speak a Somali dialect. So Punt is almost certainly modern day Puntland. So they agree. State of Somalia, based on the evidence of the ancient Egyptian inscriptions. According to historian Hamed Abdi, the ancient city of Opone, or write it down, O-P-O-N-E, O-P-O-N-E, Opone in Somalia. So there is a city in Somalia called Opone. Now here you have to be sharp with your linguistics. Even though you speak one language, you have to calculate and see, can these words mean the same? All right. Somalia is identical to the city of Puen. So they write P-O-U-E-N, Puen, referenced as part of Punt by ancient inscriptions. So these are inscriptions on maybe Egyptian walls or the things they found when they are looting all over Africa. You imagine three people, Italians, French, and British, coming to colonize you. They will loot everything. They will loot everything, even your mother's cooking pots. They will loot. Your grandparents' grave, they will loot. They will take everything, you see? So the Egyptians called Punt Penuet, Puenet, P-W-E-N-E-T, or Puene, P-W-E-N-E, which translates to Puen, P-O-U-E-N. Those are three vowels close to each other. Known to the Greeks as Opone. It's well established that Opone traded with Egypt over many centuries, all right? So, which ancient kingdom is this that traded with Egypt for many centuries, selling them leopard skins, selling them ostrich feathers, myrrh and frankincense, and all the things that we mentioned? This is Puntland. So Phoenicia, as you have seen that word P-O or Opone, is a city in Somaliland, Puntland today. So that was a city of the Phoenicians. So do your research, and we will read more and find out how the Greeks might have used the Phoenicians to get what they wanted from us. And from there, we will realize that the capital of the Northern Kingdom is not far from that place, all right? Is not far from that place. So we have seen that Lebanon will be there. Lebanon is just a mountain or a forest or a land with acacia trees and the rest. So it shouldn't be a name of a country, but a name of a place, all right? So you see these things in Africa, people wearing colobus monkeys, leather, ostrich feathers. Ostriches are all over the land. And frankincense and myrrh is ancient to East Africa. So that is what I had for you.
Here's something, Dada.
Yes, yes.
On a peer-reviewed journal article, you know.
Yes, yes. Mm.
And it's talking about, it's substantiating what she's saying, family, right here. The southern shore of the Gulf of Aden was the land of Punt of the ancient Egyptians, the Ophir of the Hebrews, the Berbera and the Adel of the Arabs and Portuguese. The ancient Egyptians believed that they originally came from Punt, which is now called Somalia or Somaliland, just like what she was saying. The East African country with which ancient Egypt had constant connection through her history. So just substantiate, this is their documents, substantiating what she said.
Dada, continue. I can see there.
Okay, it says
Hamamat.
Yes, Wadi Hamamat. It says there was great similarity between the Puntites as represented in the Egyptian monuments and the Egyptians themselves. And she said that earlier. And it is said that the pre-dynastic dynastic Egyptians found their way from Punt, passing up the coast of the Red Sea and entering Egypt through Wadi Hamamat. Thereafter spreading south into Nubia. As the name Punt is always described as the official Egyptian text without the determinative of a foreign country or land, the ancient Egyptians regarded the people of Punt as being racially connected with themselves. You want me to read on?
Wow. Yeah, continue.
Besides, the chief attraction for the ancient Egyptians in South Arabia lie in the frankincense, what she said, which they prize highly for temple use and mummification, in which that part of Arabia was particularly rich. When Nubia was subjugated and Punt brought within the commercial sphere of the Egyptian empire, many expeditions were conducted to those places to procure myrrh, fragrant gums. She mentioned fragrant gums, resin, and aromatic woods. She mentioned the woods. Such an expedition to Punt,
Continue.
Such an expedition to Punt was undertaken by the pharaoh of the 5th dynasty, Sahir, the landed barons like the lords of Elephantine. And Elephantine, we know, was an area over there where a lot of our people were. Amenhotep II and his son, Sesostris II of the 12th dynasty, Queen Hatshepsut of the 18th dynasty, Thutmose III and Ramesses III of the 19th dynasty. So in dynastic times, goodwill missions were dispatched to Punt with the sole intention of perpetuating the racial, cultural, and commercial ties between the two countries. I have to go into my account and download. It's an actual article, so I'm going to read this later on and pull out some information here. This is where I go a lot of time and find information.
Wow, that is powerful. So now, my people are Bantu, you can see your history shouldn't start after slavery. It should start before slavery. What happened? When you start there, then you realize what they have done, what they're hiding from you. So that was Phoenicia. That is what they call Tyre. If you hear the king of Tisor, could have been those kings who were in those empires, because we had several empires ruling on that place. And what made the people of Aksum, who had gone to Arabia to do merchandise and business, stop the trade? It's because now when the revolution started, and people were being converted in Arabia. So those who were Christians in Arabia, those who were in Judaism, those who were in their own religions, other religions, were being forced to convert to a new religion. So what happened, these people of Ethiopia who had gone to do business in those places refused because they had a strong base in Christianity. So they had Christian kings, they had Christian kingdoms. They have gone to trade, and the war breaks out, and people are supposed to convert and do this. So what happened? These people came back to Africa. So they came back to Ethiopia because they had to resist, because they didn't want to convert again to another belief, because they were Christians and they wanted to be forever Christians. So I think when now these people had that fear, they came back to Africa and the trade subsided. So the people who introduced these people to business and how to merchandise and how to do trade are the people who had come from Africa. And it is later on, after the Egyptians have been destroyed and the other kingdoms. So they cannot tell us that there was Asian civilization doing Asian trade there. No, they were taught by these people who are coming from Ethiopia. Aden is a son of Phut. There is a desert called Ogaden in Ethiopia, and it's between Eritrea, Ethiopia, Somalia, something of the sort, a very big desert. Aden. Aden is a child of Punt. So you know that Punt is nearby. The land of Punt is nearby. That is Phoenicia, that is Sidon, that is Tyre on the Red Sea. The Eritrean Sea, that is an African sea. It's not a Greek sea, it's an African sea. Yeah, so we will discuss more next time. So now you know Phoenicia, you'll go and read scriptures regarding that, and you'll know what happened to the northern kingdom in those days. Could be there were some people on that part of Somalia, or maybe it is just in the 19th century or 18th or 16th century, these things were happening, but they wrote the Bible and they said it is 2,000 years ago. You never know. So you have to be careful. Probably the Messiah just died, was killed just recently, 500 years or less. So the Most High will give us more revelation. So that is what I had for you today. Blessings, my people. Bantu, I love you so much. I don't want you to get lost. And don't say, I am in diaspora, I don't have migration story. My story is your story. All right? My story is your story. So we are going to cover each and everyone's nakedness, our people's naked. We are going to cover one another. All right? So be confident, be happy, be joyful, be glad, because our captivity is ending. Blessings, blessings, my people. Until next time. Bye-bye. Back to you, Dad.
All right, we thank you so much for that information. I hope YouTube, Facebook, and all of social media are soaking in this wealth of knowledge. And we will be back again. You have more to share with us for another third portion, Dada, is that correct? All right.
Yes. I will talk about other Bantu's migration story next time. The people who had come from Meroe, Assyrian captivity. We will talk next time. Yeah.
And this is something that we need to know. We've been talking about in the diaspora that we want to know our culture, our history. So she has been so generous enough to share this information. We know that some people try to sell this stuff, and which we don't believe in that. This is our history, and we're so grateful that Queen Tabitha is sharing this information with us and taking time out of her busy schedule to do that. So Matanda Masaka for that. Asante sana, Dada. Greatly appreciate you much. We'll see you next Samba, Facebook, YouTube, until we meet again. Let me see, hold on, let me find it.